Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Tony Sandlaben.
And I'm Bree Isom. Thanks for joining us. Well, the time has finally come. Donald Trump is coming to Indiana. Tomorrow, the candidate is holding a rally at the State Fairgrounds in the Elements Financial Blue Ribbon Pavilion at 3 p.m. Doors will open at 12 p.m. This will be his first rally in the Hoosier State, with the Indiana primary approaching on May 3rd, with 57 delegates at stake. One of Trump's opponents, Senator Ted Cruz, is also planning to visit Indiana before the May 3rd primary. He is scheduled for a Thursday visit at Indiana's GOP's spring dinner.
Indiana is taking an interesting role in the nomination process. The New York Times reported that Indiana is actually one of the most important primaries in the election process this year. NewsLink Indiana reporter Brittany Ehrman is standing outside of Bernie Sanders' campaign office in downtown Muncie to tell us more. Brittany?
Tony, Indiana is playing a very significant role in this year's nomination compared to prior elections. Now, as you can see behind me, I'm here at Bernie Sanders' campaign office, which is one of two Democratic offices here in Muncie. And their overall goal is to get people to vote.
We play a very significant role in deciding, not only on the Democratic side, who's going to be the nominee for them. One of them is going to get there, probably Hillary Clinton. She's got the lead and she's got the super delegates that help her out. But beyond that, on the Republican side, it's going to matter in the sense that if Donald Trump is going to be the nominee, he's got to win all these states and win them with a decent enough margin that he picks up enough delegates to get there.
With both Donald Trump and Ted Cruz visiting Indiana this week, the campaign is heating up for the May 3rd primary. Reporting live in downtown Muncie, Brittany Ehrman, NewsLink Indiana, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Brittany. The union representing 1,400 carrier workers whose jobs will be outsourced to Mexico voted to endorse Bernie Sanders for president. United Steelworkers Local 1999 President Chuck Jones said in a statement, Bernie Sanders for decades has fought against the kinds of disastrous trade deals that are now allowing Carrier to ship over 1,000 good-paying Indiana jobs to Mexico. Jones also said Bernie Sanders is the only candidate running for president who will do something to stop this kind of corporate greed if he is elected, because he's been fighting against it for years. When asked if he would support the Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton over Trump, Jones said it is yet to be determined.
The world's largest computer chip maker, Intel, is cutting up to 12,000 people from its global staff. The tech giant said most of the affected employees will be notified in the next 60 days, while some of the cuts may not happen until the middle of next year. Intel has long been dominating the market due to its microprocessors, but has struggled transitioning to the mobile industry. The company said today it expects to save $750 million this year and $1.4 billion by the middle of next year as a result of cutting 11% of its workforce.
The New York primaries concluded just a few minutes ago. As Diane Gallagher reports, the candidates have had a quite busy week in the state prepping for the chance at winning a big chunk of delegates.
New York is on the clock. After 2 weeks of campaigning, complete with a debate, town halls, plenty of controversy, and, of course, food.
Fabulous cheesecake.
It's now in the hands of the Empire State voters, two of whom lead the race for their party's nominations.
Who you voting for?
Easy decision.
Donald Trump, dominating in the polls of New York's likely Republicans, cast his vote in Manhattan Tuesday morning. The real estate mogul reflecting on how it feels to check Trump in a presidential primary.
It was a great honor, really. Who would have thought? This was just a great honor, and I think it's a great honor for New York. New York is a special place.
New York's adopted daughter, Hillary Clinton, and her husband, the former president, completed their civic duty in Chappaqua.
It feels great, and I am so excited about both campaigning here in New York, voting here in New York, and I love New York.
And Democratic polls show the state seems to love its former senator back. Clinton is up by double digits in recent polls on the Brooklyn-born Bernie Sanders, who took to the streets Tuesday.
Morning, sir.
Mingling in Midtown, trying to sway last-minute voters.
We're feeling very good.
But even with With 247 Democratic and 95 GOP delegates at stake today, Republican candidates John Kasich
We'll probably get some delegates.
and Ted Cruz
Maryland is a battleground.
are already looking ahead to the 5 states voting 1 week from today. In Washington, Diane Gallagher.
Next Tuesday, Connecticut, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island will each hold their primaries. You know, Tony, this weekend was a little taste of summer.
Yeah, definitely, including today. It's been very, very warm, very, very sunny. You know, it seems like we jumped back to winter a couple of weeks ago. Now we're jumping forward to summer. I don't know. Michael Behrens is here to tell us, are we ever going to have legitimate spring weather?
Well, we have a little bit of springtime weather on the way for this week. Lots of those April showers in the forecast, and temperatures closer to where they should be for this time of year, but plenty of 70s still out there as well. Temperatures right now cooling down 63 degrees under clear skies here in Muncie. The winds from the east-northeast at 11 miles per hour. Local radar here is clear at this time, but taking a look off toward our west, this is what we have to start dealing with as we come into Wednesday and Thursday. All of this rain moves toward us, and we really have rainy conditions in the forecast until early Friday before things finally start to clear up here in east central Indiana. Now, coming up in your full forecast, we'll take a look at the timing on that rain, which is returning. Some cooler weather ahead, not cold, but cooler than we were this weekend, and the possibility of sunny weather for the weekend. That's coming up in your full weather forecast.
All right, thank you very much, Michael. Coming up after the break, find out how you can get involved in Ball State's search for a new president.
And who is charged with a Class B misdemeanor in the Delaware County building. All this and more when we return.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
At Daleville High School, a custodian was arrested after he admitted to having sex with a student. Administrators at the school told police because they were concerned by raised concerns by a staff member. The worker reported seeing 41-year-old Brady Malam exchanging notes with 2 female students in their early teens. Police revealed the notes contained sexual references. Malam has never faced criminal charges but could face up to 40 years in prison following the molestation charge. Malam was placed on unpaid leave and is not permitted on the school's campus.
A voter registration official has been charged with disorderly conduct for allegedly being involved in a desk clearing incident in the Delaware County building. Ashley Nichols, a Democratic representative for the County Voter Registration Office, was charged with a Class B misdemeanor by the County Voter Registration Office. Rick Spangler, Human Resource Director, said Nichols stormed into his office and swept coffee and papers off of his desk. A hearing was set for June 20th in the Muncie City Court.
Ball State is holding 4 meetings this week before starting the process of finding a new university president. Ball State's NewsLink Indiana, Camille Breck has the story.
Just 4 months ago, Paul Ferguson resigned as Ball State's president. As the search for a new candidate begins, Ball State's Board of Trustees are holding forum meetings. This is for Ball State and Muncie communities to provide their input on what to look for in the next president. SGA Representative Michael Santos explains why the students' voice should be heard.
I think they're important, just considering with the recent resignation of President Ferguson and kind of the questions that have surrounded that. A lot of people have called for more transparency, and I think these forums are kind of the opportunity to have that transparency and for students to actually have their voices heard and have some input in the process.
The Board of Trustees office was not willing to comment on these forums, but says all the information can be found online. On Thursday, April 21st, faculty and staff are invited to come here to Cardinal Hall B in the Student Center to talk about the new president. At 5:30, alumni and community leaders are invited to a session held in the Arena Lounge inside Worthen Arena with convenient nearby parking. On Friday, April 22nd, people are invited to come to Burkhart Building, room 100. The forums are Ball State's trustees' commitment to engage the campus and community about the values of Ball State University. Here's student John Alice to tell you more.
I believe they will listen. They need students, and students pay tuition. So in the end, I feel like if they want a university that is based around students and academics, that will come through. And if the students aren't heard, then we'll obviously realize that that's not their goal is education. So if we can kind of strong arm them into a position where education needs to be first, our voices will be heard.
Any information regarding the forums can be found on your Ball State email. From Muncie, I'm Camille Breck, NewsLink Indiana.
For more information, you can visit www.bsu.edu.
After Bracken Library flooded with water this week, the University Library announced via Twitter that the floors are now being reopened. After a pipe broke, computers, books, and the floors were covered in water and were immediately shut down to the public. Facility employees have been working for a couple days to go through each individual book to restore them back to their previous conditions. Although floors 2nd West, 3rd floor East, and 3rd floor lobby have been reopened, there is still no word on when the 4th floor will open due to the amount of cleanup that remains.
A race in downtown Muncie recently raised money for programs helping people with disabilities. Chrissy Thomas has more information on one program that has benefited from the race.
People with disabilities are off to a head start in this year's Best Buddies race against the R word. But lurking just behind the race was another opportunity. Behind these doors is the Erskine Training Institute, hosted in the Courtyard Marriott. Buddy coordinator Taylor Hurd knows more.
How to work so you can get out in the real world and have an actual job. And it helps with socialization, whatever your disability is, to help you get through that so you can get out in the world and work.
At the beginning of each program, students will receive information on things like health and wellness. They'll also learn information about how to better use the Muncie transit system so that they can maintain better jobs and have more access to the community. The Erskine Training Institute isn't the only thing people are screaming about. General Manager Laura Kanker also believes the hotel could bring more tourism to Muncie.
There's many activities, teams, groups that are now coming to Muncie that wouldn't have stayed in the past. There's groups that previously, for example, had been in Indianapolis. There was a huge billiards tournament just this past weekend that would have been in Indianapolis, chose Muncie because of the new hotel.
Classes are held every Monday at the Marriott Hotel. Applications for both students and volunteers are online. In Muncie, Chrissy Thomas, NewsLink Indiana.
Best Buddies raised $400 for the Erskine Green Institute. Other profits went to Hillcroft Services and Beyond I Can.
Sunny skies and warming temps have been around for the better part of the week, but is change on the way?
We'll tell you what you can expect when rain is coming up in your full weather forecast. That's next.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
So these warm temps, I hope that they're here to stay. Michael, can you tell us more?
Well, the forecast is looking pretty warm. However, unfortunately, rain is moving back in as early as tomorrow afternoon. It won't come tonight, though. Tonight, right now, 63 degrees under clear skies. The winds from the east-northeast here in Muncie. As you take a look at the almanac, we've been warmer than average for the better part of the past week. Still much warmer today. We're supposed to be around 63 for this time of the year. We made it to 77 degrees this afternoon. As we take a look at the national map, there's warm weather all across the south, and that warm air is going to stay in our region, especially as we head into your Wednesday before a small cool down comes along with those rain showers to end this week. Now, temperatures across Indiana right now, 63 Muncie, 72 Indianapolis, 70 Shelbyville, 73 Bloomington. You see that sharp change in the temperatures. That's because of the winds. The winds mostly from the east-northeast across much of central Indiana, but as you head towards southern Indiana, some south-southwest westerly winds starting to take over, and that's helping to keep things a little warmer for their neck of the woods. Now, as far as radar goes, we are clear across east central Indiana right now, but this rain out toward our west, this is what's going to move toward us as we head into your Wednesday evening, Thursday, and early part of Friday. And there's a lot of rain out there to get through, and some places could see accumulations of rain near an inch during the day on Thursday. Now, as far as the winds go in the overnight, they stay mostly from the east and the northeast, so we're going to get cool again tonight, possibly the lower 50s into the upper 40s. But as we head into tomorrow, these winds change. They're from the south now by tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, and temperatures for tomorrow once again reaching into the 70s. As we head over to Precision Cast, we see the clouds around the region tonight. Really not anything in the way of rainfall. Partly cloudy skies tonight. As we head into your Wednesday afternoon, that's when the mostly cloudy conditions start to move in. We see a few chances for a pop-up rain shower or thunderstorm on Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening, but those chances really don't take off until Wednesday night. As we head into the early hours of Thursday, rain showers, some thunderstorms moving through east central Indiana. Really, that chance remains around throughout the entire day on Thursday into Thursday night with rain showers and thunderstorms possible. Things start to dry out for us here as we head into Friday morning, and the clouds, they'll eventually work their way to the south and out of here by Friday evening, and Saturday looking to be pretty sunny. For tonight, again, 49 degrees, partly cloudy skies, winds from the east at 7 miles per hour. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy in the evening, plenty of sun when we wake up, at least the way it looks now. And then the rain chances and possibility of a storm as we head into the overnight hours. Your 7-day forecast here. Temperatures not looking too bad in the 70s for the first 2 days here. Thursday, though, that's the big rain day we're going to watch. Precision Cast on the rain accumulations here. Again, almost up to an inch as we take a look at that forecast model run for us. 0.79 inches here in Muncie. The rest of the 7-day, though, a little bit cooler for Friday and Saturday. 64 degrees Friday, 67 Saturday. Sun returns for the weekend back into the low 70s for the start of next week, but the rain does return.
Well, Michael, good to see that the temperatures are going to stay a little higher. Also, 5 years, man. This is your last show.
This is the last show. Started here in 2011. I'll be graduating in May. I'm really happy for everything NewsLink has allowed me to do and the opportunities it's provided, and I'm looking forward to that next step.
We certainly appreciate everything you've contributed. Thank you very much, Michael. Coming up next, sports will bring us some local baseball highlights.
And we'll take a look at Ball State football already prepping for next season. Stay tuned.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe.
Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Val Jones with sports. Well, it's not quite football season yet, but it won't be long now before it's here. Ball State football is wrapping up spring practice this week and will hold its spring game on Saturday. Today, our own Peter Hood had a chance to talk with offensive coordinator Joey Lynch about the new system that is being installed by head coach Mike New.
It's a little different, terminology, how we communicate is a little bit different. Some of the plays are the same plays, but how we communicate still is different for the guys. So the process is a little bit more, but I think how we've installed it and then how we went about this spring, going to a 5-week spring practice and only practicing 3 days a week, I think that's really helped. It allows us more meeting time and really teach the game more. So I feel really good about where they're at, and I think the kids are excited about what we're doing, where we're going, and kind of have a vision for what we want to be. So it's been really good from a buy-in standpoint, and there's been a ton of energy, and we really like the effort out here.
You mentioned installation. How much of that have you been able to do here in the spring?
Quite a bit. Definitely not going to have the whole package in spring practice. And, you only get 15 of them, and you get 29 of them before your first game when you start about fall camp. So it's quite a bit difference. But definitely got the foundation of who we want to be and how we want to, operate as an offense. But, our kids have bought in. We have a smart group, and we're getting better each and every day, which is fun as a coach. Spring practice, there's no real game on Saturday. So it's a lot of fun. You can really just worry about your own team. And all the emphasis is to our players and what they need to do to get better, what we need to do to get better, and make sure everyone's on the same page.
With this new offense, more up-tempo, right?
Yeah, we're going to play fast at times, no question. We want to be multiple. We're going to be able to kind of have answers for any situation that might come about, but we definitely want to dictate the tempo of a football game and keep the defense on their heels.
That was offensive coordinator Joey Lynch. Defensive coordinator Tim Dowse will join the show tomorrow, and head coach Mike New is coming up on Thursday. Stick with NewsLink Indiana for full coverage of the Saturday's spring game. Now to baseball. Ball State baseball was on the road this evening in West Lafayette, taking on a Purdue team they had already beaten once this season. However, tonight was Purdue's night. They split the season series with the Cards with a 9-2 win. Scott Tyler had Ball State's lone RBI in the loss. The Cardinals are back in action this weekend as they host Bowling Green. The Muncie Burris Owls took on the Liberty Christian Lions in high school action Tuesday night. After Liberty Christian jumped out to a 3-0 lead, Muncie Burris Quentin Stanford hits a triple to score Josh Monroe and DJ Johnson to give the Owls a 4-3 lead after 2. In the following inning, Lions pitcher Orlando Sutton singles in Isaiah Breeze to tie the game at 4. The next at-bat, a wild pitch from Zach Peters scores Peyton Quinn to give Liberty Christian a 5-4 lead. After a ground out to first base, Eli Blower grounded out to pitcher Zach Peters to end the third inning. Muncie Burris would go on to lose this game by a score of 10-9.
All right, thank you very much, Val. Coming up, find out which Indiana native is joining a CDC on tour.
And an a cappella show is headed to Pruis. Find out when we return on NewsLink Indiana.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face! In your face!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Brittany Carlin with your entertainment news. AC/DC has recruited Axl Rose, an Indiana native, to serve as the vocalist for the band's remaining Rock or Bust tour. Many fans were upset because the longtime lead singer Brian Johnson had been replaced. This morning, Johnson explains why he will not be continuing on tour. He has a very serious hearing condition that might possibly cause him to go deaf if he continues singing in these large performance spaces. He made the decision to leave the tour, but he will continue helping the AC/DC in any way that he can. DJ Khaled announced in a Snapchat and Instagram video that he will be part of Beyoncé's tour. The 40-year-old music producer is one of the top celebrities on social media, and it only took him 1 month to make more than 20 million followers on Snapchat. He has been making music for the past 20 years. He has also collaborated with Drake and Lil Wayne. But Beyoncé's Formation tour starts April 27th in Miami. The Association of Collegiate Acapella will be having their final show of the year this coming Sunday. They will be bringing back some old songs and also singing some new arrangements. They will be held in Pruis Hall starting at 1 p.m. The admission to the show is free. If you would like to attend, the doors will open at 12:45 p.m. That's all for your entertainment news. Back to you at the news desk.
Thank you very much, Brittany. For a quick look now at the New York primaries, Donald Trump has won the New York primary in a landslide. We don't have the exact numbers for you yet, but as far as the Democratic race is concerned, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are still pretty close with each other. The final results have not yet been announced, but we will get those to you as soon as possible.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.